Good morning, Magic players. Welcome to the morning show where we discuss all things Magic. Get your questions fired up and let's have a great discussion this morning. Also, we do Decklist review, so if you've got a 75 you'd like some feedback on, submit it to us, and both myself and the community would love to check out your spicy brew. So brew up your cups of coffee and let's brew up some Magic. Welcome to Coffee and MTG for May 3rd, 2021. I am your host, Nikachu the Merfolk Master, and good morning. All right, let's fire this up. Frederick, good morning. Alfred, Papa Joe, Steve, Andrew, Cody, always looking forward to this every single morning. Sorry, I'm off on weekends. Matty X, Ian, Papa Joe, Ben, Chris, Mikey, J, Niels, Nielsen, and Marty. Good morning, everyone. Oh, and Hot Cold Man. Excellent. We got the morning crew here today. You know, I would love to turn this into a little bit of a news show going forward. I don't know how to go about that. Maybe I'm going to have like Twitter up, say, hey, you have any like stuff you want to talk about for the next Coffee and MTG? Let me know below. Or maybe you can tag me on Twitter. I don't know. But like, I guess like when the news comes up, I mean, we talk about it. Not anything super interesting right now. Nothing new. But wouldn't be too bad talking about the latest events for the first 5 to 10 minutes. But as usual, this is an interactive MTG show. 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question helps me find your questions amongst all the comments. Frederick, want to know your opinion on Learn and Lesson. Seems like Titan player had success with them. Yes, there was a Titan deck that broke the card. Can I find the most recent result? I don't know if it's published yet. Is this it? Maybe this is it. No, this doesn't. Yeah, it is actually. Okay, I found the list. Okay, so it would appear that Karn the Great Creator just isn't good enough for Titan anymore. You know, it's not good enough. You know, having that wish board for that walking ballista and snaring bridge, and so it's what's it called? Liquid metal coating. That's not good enough anymore. We got to play with Field Trip, which is search your library for a basic forest card put onto the battlefield tapped, which is not bad for the Titan deck. Like sometimes they want that ramp, but you can also have Learn. You reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand, or discard a card to draw a card. So what they have the option to do, it's funny that, yeah, you get to at the very least loot. This might be the first deck to break the Learn mechanic. And in the beginning, we didn't see like many good things that you could get with Learn, but there are like some damn... Where's the best one? The best one is the fact that you can destroy artifacts and enchantments. No, it's not this one. There's Environmental Sciences. Search your library for a basic land card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. You gain 2 life. That honestly seems weak. I don't know if they need that card. Basic Conjuration. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You can reveal a creature card from among them. Put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You gain 3 life. Hey, nothing wrong with gaining life while you search for your Primeval Titan. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, this one. I think this... I don't know if this one should be a lesson card. I really don't like the idea of decks that are getting crushed by, you know, artifacts and enchantments, you know, the typical answers to, you know, oppressive decks. Now they have access to a toolbox from the sideboard. I don't like it. Containment Breach is very strong. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. If its mana value is 2 or less, create a 1/1 black-green pest creature token. Whenever this creature dies, you gain 1 life. Pest Summoning, create 2 1/1 black and green pest creature tokens. When this creature dies, you gain 1 life. I don't know how useful that is. I imagine, and then create... This one's actually pretty good for the Titan deck, because it puts an army in 1 card. Create a 2/1... Basically, create a 2/1 flying creature, create a 3/2... spirit creature token, and create a 4/4 elemental creature token. So you put like 9 power on the battlefield out of nowhere. So if you're a Titan deck with like 10 mana available, you just Field Trip into this thing when your, I don't know, control players tapped out, and boom, you've got an army on the battlefield. That's brutal. Let's not forget, this deck is still leveraging all the good stuff, you know, between turn 3 Titans, Dryad of the Elysian Grove, and Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. I don't know how long this combo can stay around in Modern. I'm absolutely tired of this thing. I'm not too tired of Primeval Titan. I am tired of Dry to the Elysian Grove into Valakut. That is annoying. Anyway, it looks like the real deal. Looks like the real deal. Dre's like, right, getting this many things from the sideboard is wild. That's why I wanted to try the Breach in that random Dredge list. And it made sense. Because what does Dredge lose to? Dredge loses to Rest in Peace. Dredge loses to all the artifacts. Well, I mean, they have quite a good suite of cards to beat artifacts and enchantments, but you know, nothing wrong with using those lesson cards as additional ways to find all the answers to the answers. Anyway, it's a real deck. It just made top 8 in a recent Modern challenge. It's probably only going to get better from there. But as you see, like, it looks like we're close to reaching the final form on Titan. Like, we got the Amulet. Like, they have so many 4-ofs now. We have 4 Arboreal Grazer, 4 Dryad, 1 Azusa, just as like a 5th Dryad, basically. 4 Primeval Titan, 4 Summoner's Pact, 4 Explorer, 4 Field Trip, 4 Amulet, and then 31 lands. We're approaching the final form of Titan. There used to be a bunch of... They used to hedge this and that. Maybe they play Ancient Stirrings, maybe they don't. I think we're reaching the final form of Primeval Titan. That's how I see it. All right, next question. Oh, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Marty, Donald, Artinio, Coldman, Vala. Good morning, Yellow Chair. Good morning, Thai Gaming, Staffen, Canadian Bacon, Michael, Frick Curry, and Mauricio. Mohammed, what product do you recommend to buy for a new player? For an absolute new player, like they've never played before, those starter decks are not too bad. Like those the challenger decks. How about everyone else? Like I have not introduced many people to the game for a very long time. But I remember getting back into the game, I think around 2012. I bought a challenger deck to play with a friend who hadn't played for a very long time. And they're like, you know, they're okay. They're okay. They're affordable. You can play some Magic. You can upgrade it. Well, I don't know what format you're going to upgrade it over time, but you know, for kitchen tabletop purposes, they work. They work. Here you got a Dimir Rogue list. Might turn your friend into a Dimir Rogue aficionado for life. How else would you get someone into the game? I think the challenger decks are decent. I thought the modern event decks were really good when they were around. That's a long time ago, though. Core set intro decks are good for teaching and free at your local game store. Yep. If they still have... I'm sure they still have them around. Honestly, just spend $30 on trash cards to learn mechanics, then buy singles for a deck. But then that means you got to make the deck for your friend. I introduce people to the game since I buy lots of cards. I usually build them from a custom starter deck. Yeah, Jumpstart is cool. Fun idea. Modern event deck would be awesome these days. It's hard for them to make those event decks because they're like how to make it like $30, you know? Modern cards are so expensive now. And what like deck would you make? Maybe they could make a prowess deck, I guess, with a few expensive cards. That like the money card would be like one season Pyromancer or something. I'll get back to you guys. But anyway, I think getting a starter deck is probably the best way you can gift something. You know, you automatically give your friend a deck and they're good to go. So that would be my suggestion if it were to be a product. Yellow Chair, can you have a queue lobby before the live show starts? I feel like I missed the first minutes waiting for the live show. I basically do. Like you guys are typing in comments 5 minutes before I even start the show. So there is a little something. The first few minutes waiting for the live show? I don't get it. How do you don't really, I don't think you miss anything if you're just there. Oh, you mean like there's like starting in 5 minutes thing? No, I don't do that, if that's what you're implying. Only because I may not start in 5 minutes. I might start in 3 minutes. I might start in 6 minutes. Do you think Strixhaven was a bust for all formats so far? Well, according to this list, no. It was not a bust. I mean, it's the cards see play. We see Languish. Wait, no, not is it Languish? No, it's what is the black-white card? It's not Extinguish. Right? No, that's not it. Damn it. I can't remember the names of all these magic cards. What's the black-white one? Exile target monocolor permanent. Vanishing Verse. Dude, there was a sh in there. Oops. I mean, this sees play in Modern. So we've seen the Learn mechanic. We see Vanishing Verse. I think it sees play. It sees play. So it wasn't as impactful as in the past. Like, you know, I think a lot of people would be happy with the impact that Strixhaven has had on Modern, given the fact that, you know, we've had about 2 clear years straight of just haymaker sets. Haymaker after haymaker after haymaker, starting with like War of the Spark. It got really bad. I mean, it was starting to go up ever since, like, I don't know, Rivals of Ixalan, and then it like went really hard with War of the Spark, and then hit us even harder with Modern Horizons 1. But they didn't stop there, people. They kept it going. They kept the momentum with Throne of Eldraine. And I mean, that was the time people were like pulling hair out of their head. Anyway, so like it seems like we're now back to reasonably power leveled sets. They give us a few tools, but don't rock the boat too much, in my opinion. Froggy Woggy, recommendations for sleeves / deck boxes. I personally use Dragon Shields outer sleeves and KMC perfect size inner sleeves. Deck boxes, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, what do I use? I use a lot of Ultimate Guard stuff, but honestly, I think a lot of the deck boxes are good. It all comes down to your personal preference. How much space do you need? Do you really want to carry all your dice and all your other stuff? Do you need to have dice in the same compartment as your deck box? So you might have to figure that one out. And I'm only going with Dragon Shield because they don't put no dirt sticks to the back of the sleeve, which is good, and it's fairly durable for tournament play. So that's why I go with Dragon Shield. Because if dirt started accumulating on the back, that's not good for tournament play. Then you consider your cards marked. Not good. Mikey J, what's the confounding conundrum of Strixhaven so far? I don't know. It's not Clever Lumimancer, that's for sure. Clever Lumimancer is seeing very serious play. People have gotten a ton of 5-0s with this card. So the card's pretty real. The deck overall, difficult to tell, but Clever Lumimancer is busted. It's just maybe missing one more good creature in the Boros colors. But I don't think anything else was super pumped up. Oh, maybe the Lorehold card. I don't know if this was that hyped up. I expected more from this card because, I mean, people really went out of the way to make a Narset deck work. This is just a better card than Narset, and it's not seeing any play at all. Lance says, good morning. I'm coming back to Modern after almost 2 years of hiatus. This basically sounds like when War of the Spark came out, you're like, okay, fuck it, I'm out of here. How is Modern today different? How is Modern today different from then? A lot of big mana. A lot of big mana. Blue-Eye Control has turned into Esper Control. Companions exist, if you don't know what that is. Burn's still around. I would say it's a lot of big mana, because like there's a lot of super fast, stupid decks like Blitz and Burn, and it seems like people want to go on the sort of a control route, but there's still Shadow. I don't know. This is the metagame right now. Scapeship's back. It like died when you basically quit the game, but it's back now, so it's like it never left for you. Still have Tron, some new aggro decks like Hammer Time. Oh, honestly, a lot of things have changed. If you play another Modern game, you won't recognize a lot of the cards. A lot of new cards. Papa Joe, are we back bit by bit on multiple colored mana bases? If you're talking about Modern as a whole, I guess so. There's not many monocolored decks doing very well right now, except Eldrazi Tron, if you can even call that a monocolored deck. A lot of... Look, we got 5... We have 2 5-color decks. Niv to Light and Scape Shift. Which is interesting. So, like, there's so many 2-color decks, but there's no Blood Moon decks taking over. What's up with this? It looks like Blood Moon looks so well positioned outside of the Blitz matchup. So well positioned in this metagame. I think Ponza's well positioned. Scoot asks, do you think banning Lava Dart would help the format and still keep Blitz viable, just not dominant? No, I don't think that would change. I mean, Lava Dart would be something, but I think the real card that you want to ban is Metamorphose. It would prevent turn 2 Stormwing entities, and I mean, just prevent like giant chunks of damage coming through because of the basically free prowess. Lava Dart, I don't think it. I mean, I don't think it changes the dominance very much. If you really want to slow the deck down, you have to cut off. In my opinion, you got to cut off the Metamorphose. That's probably the best thing. Either that, or you ban Swift Spear. Like you have to take out one of their creatures, or you know. Like, I'm getting a sense, like, the real thing you gotta do is you gotta chop off one of these creatures. And maybe the real creature you have to chop off is something like Sprite Dragon. This is getting played in more decks now. Like, this is seeing very serious legacy play now. Sprite Dragon is no joke. I knew this was underrated when I saw it, when, like, basically a year goes by and no one's playing this card. Like, so much time passed and not enough people were playing with Sprite Dragon. But anyway, found a home here. And it's really strong. There's one of those abilities on that card should not be there for its mana cost. One of those abilities is pushed. It's probably the one that says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on the dragon. Little nuts, in my opinion. Steve Manzo, in your opinion, what Boros Lumimancer build is better? The one using Mishra's Bauble or the one using Assault Strobe and Ground Rift? What is Ground Rift again? I don't like this card. This card is nonsense. Target creature without flank count. This is a terrible card. It's a bad inflexible card. But what is the other one? Assault Strobe. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. I don't like either of these. I like something with crash through, and I don't care how you build the rest of it. I mean, if now given the 2 options that you gave me, I would choose the Mishra's Bauble one, but I don't even like that one because it's like it doesn't combo with Lumimancer, and also it assumes that you're going to play with Lurrus, and sure, you should play with Lurrus, but I don't know if it's worth the slots. I don't know if Lurrus going into the long game is what you want to be doing with this Boros deck, you know what I mean? I prefer to just play Crash Through and like Boros Charm. I think Boros Charm is like just what you want to do with this deck, in my opinion. Like this deals damage or gives the creature double strike. This is not complicated. Anyway, if I had to choose between the 2, I would choose the Mishra's Bauble one because the other one is just so all in on this. Like, Ground Rift is garbage unless you've got Lumimancer out. So I don't like cards like that. I don't like these really narrow, bad cards. I mean, maybe it's better than I think it is because you still get, you can make it so that certain creatures can't block. You get through damage, but I'm not a fan. Not a fan at all. Scoot! Gandy with the super chat. Sprite Dragon is super cute until it smacks you for 7 on turn 3. Exactly. It basically kills you on turn 4. Thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it, Scoot. When they make Brainstorm and Ponder legal, which will never happen, so it'll never be a real card. Not sure what the context is there. What are your thoughts on Pioneer in real life when paper events return? It's going to be big. I don't know if it's going to be big. But it's going to be a thing. It's going to start to come back. It's going to grow. The moment Wizards has like a GP or a team event that says you got to play Standard, Pioneer, Modern, people are going to be flocking back to Pioneer. Easy. Easily. No question about it. Yeah, don't forget to hit like and the subscribe button. Well, if you love the show, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Be here every morning. 27 Noetic. Is there a shell for Veto and Nourishing Shoal? Maybe Grishol brand, since they both work with Gorios? No. Like if you're playing a Grishol brand deck, there's no point in playing Veto. Like that's just an extra component to the combo, and you have to like get out mana for it. So I don't really see it. They don't work. It's too janky of a combo. You're better off with just playing Laboratory Maniac instead. Draw your entire deck. If you have a Grizzle brand out, just play Laboratory Maniac, draw your entire deck, and win. Sounds more reliable. If you can cast the creature at all. Jumpstart is the best way to introduce anyone into MTG, in your opinion. All right, Emiron, you can get your hands on Jumpstart. Use that to teach people Magic. Do you think a deck featuring Seismic Assault is viable in Modern? Yes. Yes. This is a very unique card. This is the enchantment, right? This is some people have tried to break this card, but they weren't able to do it. It's unexplored. It's been slightly explored like years ago, but I don't know what happened to the builds, but they just disappeared. But this is definitely a very unique card. And you combine this with Life from the Loam. Life from the Loam to consistently get like land cards back to your hand every single turn, and also put land cards in the graveyard. This card is waiting for some home for it to become a thing. It's a good card. It just has no home yet. It has no home. Maybe one day there'll be a lands deck that could use this. Maybe it needs better lands in the format. I definitely think it has potential, though. Chris Ross with the super chat. Thank you very much, Chris. I may have asked this before, but if you could add one set to the Modern format, which would you choose? Urza's Legacy for me, because Snap would be busted. If I could choose one set, what would be the consequences of putting alliances in Modern? Because we get Force of Will, right? I get to put one set into Modern. Pre-Modern era. Masks block only gives us port. I don't know if Snap would be busted. It would be convenient. We get some more free mana. Oh, actually, hold on. What is in Nemesis? Imagine putting Urza Sega in the format. I don't know what else is in this format, but I'm just gonna put alliances just so that we get Force of Will. I would have to think harder about that one. On the spot, I don't know what's in every format, because I would like to choose a set that has multiple good cards for us to choose from. If you could design an invitational card, what would it be? It'd be Merfolk of the Wanderer, where you gets +1/+1 every single time. Gets a counter every single time a Merfolk enters the battlefield, and I can sacrifice it and counter target. Instant, equal to its power. They won't give it to me. Oh yeah, people did try the Seismic Swans thing too. Seismic Assault. No, and Swans of something. Bryn Argal. Yeah, so there's a Swans. There was a Swans deck. If a source would deal damage to Swans, prevent that damage, the source's controller draws cards equal to the damage prevented this way. So you pitch lands to your Swans, draw 2 cards, and boom. Oh yeah, Masks has Brainstorm. True story. But anyway, Swans and Seismic Assault have been tried before. I think that's a bit janky. That's a bit too slow. But maybe something there. Where was I? I'll just start here. The Canadian Bacon. I've been abusing Dragon's Guard Elite in Historic to good effect. Basically, Tarmogoyf for Historic. Boomer Jund is starting to be a thing in Historic. Really? Dragon's Guard Elite? Oh, so this is like a Okay, I see how you see how you're calling this a Tarmogoyf. Whenever you cast a spell or instant or sorcery spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Dragon's Guard Elite. Yep, I totally see it. You can double the number of counters in the late game too, which is good. Good stuff. Jund, every format. Simon asked, Nikachu, what decks are the funnest to play against for me? Shadow. Shadow's a lot of fun to play against. I'm always waiting to see, are they going to put their life total too low? Both of us don't really want to attack too early. I mean, if they've got a million shadows out, they'll just, come swinging at me like crazy. But if they only got like one shadow, they got to be careful, because if they make a wrong attack, then I swing back and kill them. So I think it's actually, it's a fun mind game to play against Shadow. MTG Ectoplasm loves Dragon Shield sealable inner sleeves. Well, I don't know if they're a must, because I have drenched my decks in water and coffee before, and I found just normal inner sleeves have sufficiently protected them. Wow, I've drenched a Legacy deck and my Modern Merfolk deck in coffee. That's crazy. That investment saved me like thousands of dollars. Those inner sleeves. Luca Tate, do you think Bug is viable on the current meta? There are some Lurrus lists going ham. Currently, yes. In the long run, I don't know. There's just not that much Blood Moon out there, so you actually aren't getting punished at all for playing the Bug colors at the moment, so go for it. Witherbloom command is probably the conundrum of the set. Maybe. Now, a lot of these commands, everyone thought they were going to see a lot of play. We do see the Prismari command seeing play. I've seen it being played against me a few times. No one's brave enough to play this thing yet. Maybe it's just Jund has so many good cards now. This isn't even special. And maybe all the one toughness, if there were more one toughness creatures, this might have more value, but there just aren't. And it's sorcery. It's sorcery. Maybe that's a big deal. How to stop big mana? Sinkhole reprint? I think Back to Basics would do it, but I don't think they'd give us that. I don't know what they're going to do about big mana. Like, there's just a lot of big mana in the format. In some cases, you could even argue that Scapeshift is a big mana deck. So how many big mana decks are there? Like Scapeshift, Amulet, Niv to Light, Eldrazi, Tron down here. A lot of mana. Hard to deal with all this crap. Blood Moon decks. Abosh and Ponza. Let's go Abosh. That's right. I don't know what's wrong with Abosh prowess right now. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be doing. I mean, maybe Eldrazi Tron's Resurgence puts it back a little bit. Maybe Esper Control being a better control deck than, say, Blue-White Control puts it back a little bit. What about Reckless Charge with Lumimancer? What I don't like is, like, I don't see the Lumimancer decks on MTG Goldfish. Like, there's definitely results. Do they have it now? Boros Prowess? Because I think they're ignoring it. Like, I'm looking for Boros. Oh, maybe it's this. Maybe it's white-red. Oh, we do have something. So okay, so we do have, they do have some lists now. 2 Swift Spear. What are they, out of their mind? What the hell list is this? Went 5-0. Whatever. Not gonna argue. Reckless Charge. Target creature gets +3/+0. Oh, this card! I used to play this in Standard like a really long time ago. That's right. Yeah, this is playable. I think this is playable. It's close. You have to play test this, but this is a lot of damage. Like, this is 6 damage in 1 card. This is pretty serious, and you can flash it back from the graveyard. This actually, I didn't even notice that it was put into Modern through Modern Horizons. Huh. New art, too. I should look at Modern Horizons just to see all, like, there's so many cards that I just shrugged off. It's like, this is impossible. Anyway, so this actually is possible. I think this is an overlooked card. This actually looks really good. I mean, you can target anything. It doesn't matter. You get the prowess triggers anyway. So anyway, I think this is not bad, and it's got flashback, which I think is really good. Yeah, Reckless Charge. Interesting idea. I think I lost my spot, but what do you think about Modern Fairies deck using Sprite Dragon and Spellstutter Sprite and Brazen Borrower? Still not good enough. I mean, maybe it's possible. I mean, Sprite Dragon. I'm not in love with Spellstutter Sprite still, because it's not going to trigger the Sprite Dragon. But, you know, Sprite Dragon plus Brazen Borrower plus Vendilion Click, maybe you got something there. Maybe there's something there. Or if you're in red, Pestermite and Kiki Jiki. But maybe that's a little too much, because you need to be heavier on the spells to make it work. Screw Seismic Assault. Ayula's Influence is the alpha enchantment. Oh, the Bear Maker. It's I don't know. This might be better. I'm not sure. Easier to play with Life from the Loam, that's for sure. Jojo asks, think goblins might be sneakily making a comeback? Nope, not that I know of. I don't see how the metagame is that much favorable for goblins than it was, I don't know, a week ago or a month ago. Chances of Chain Lightning in Modern Horizons 2? Not bad. I mean, I don't know what the odds are of them putting Chain Lightning in Modern, but it's probably higher than 0. As long as they keep making Modern Horizons products, the odds of those things coming into Modern are higher than 0. In the long run, maybe Modern is just going to be non-reserveless Legacy. You know, if they keep making a Modern Horizons product every 2 years and just start slowly putting it. They didn't really put too many staples from Legacy last time. They gave us Nimble Mongoose, saw no play, which goes to show like how devastatingly powerful Modern is. Like, you can't, Nimble Mongoose is just unplayable in this format. Or I guess like the answers are less powerful than the threats. Because at least in Legacy, you had Force Will, you had Daze to protect your poor little Nimble Mongoose. You don't got anything in Modern, do you? The Nimble Mongoose, you're all alone. You're on your own. Anyway. Robert G, do you think Show of Confidence is Wizards of the Coast idea of a fixed Storm card? Oh no, I actually think these are just Storm cards. Whenever you cast this spell, copy it for each instant, blah blah blah, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, gains vigilance until end of turn. They literally just printed Storm. Like, this is a Storm set basically, except it's applicable to creatures instead of, you know, to your face or other milling, or to your like Grape Shot, Empty the Warrens, Brain Freeze. It's literally Storm. They just reprinted Storm. And they just didn't want to call it Storm because everyone would just freak out. Oh my god, they reprinted Storm. This is going to be a busted set. Things are going to get banned. Why is Fiend Artisan so underplayed? What do you mean underplayed? You mean, if by underplayed you mean sees no play, then I understand. It's a really weak creature. I mean, yeah, you can get bigger for each card in your graveyard. How are you going to get those creatures there? So if you play it on turn 2, it's almost always going to be a 1/1, and it's just going to die to a lot of removal. And the ability is not even that great. Sacrifice, I mean, okay, the ability is great if you get to untap with it, but you still requires you to sacrifice another creature. So it's a lot of work, and it's vulnerable. It's basically why it doesn't see play. Is it Prowess are starting to play expressive iteration instead of light up the stage? Your opinion? Yeah, that's playable. I mean, I think they're play testing. I don't know if it's better, but they're play testing, and if it works, then it'll be the new staple. Matthew Gerardi, can you explain timing and targeting for an attacking/blocking Dread Horde Butcher and an undying creature that dies in combat? Okay, let's get Dread Horde Butcher. Okay. Can you explain timing and targeting for an attacking and blocking Dreadhorde Butcher and an undying creature that dies in combat? So, hold on. Does Dreadhorde Butcher simultaneously die? Is that what we're talking about here? So, Dreadhorde Butcher and an undying creature both die at the same time? Whenever Dreadhorde... So if anyone doesn't know, this is a haste 1/1 creature. Whenever Dreadhorde Butcher deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, put a +1/+1 counter on it. But when it dies, you can deal damage equal to its power to any target. So I'm guessing what you want to ask is, can you kill the undying creature that comes back? And the answer is going to be no, because when they both die, they both go to the graveyard and have triggers on the stack. And when this triggers goes on the stack, you got to target something. But the undying creature is dead. It's still in the graveyard. There's a very similar merfolk situation like this with Harbinger of the Tides, but I can't think of it right now. But the point is, you would need something on the battlefield when that trigger goes on the stack. So when Dreadhorde Butcher dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So the creatures clash, they both die, they both get a trigger. You got to target something though right now while that trigger's on the stack. That creature's not back yet. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the undying trigger is going to resolve first, because it will go. Yours thing will still go on the stack. You have to make a target, and then the undying trigger goes on the stack. So you'd end up having to target your opponent's face. Then the undying trigger resolves. Creature comes back. Then your trigger resolves. It hits the face. So anyway, I think that's what I think that's your question, and the answer is no. You're not going to be able to kill the undying creature as it comes back. Hope that explains that. I hope I did a good explanation of explaining it. And it wouldn't matter if it's your turn or their turn. Do you think Callus Blood Mage will see play in Morden? I think it's already seeing a little bit of play. It's not the most impressive card, but it's got a lot of words on it. So we're going to wait and see. Maybe it's going to see play. What are the best modern decks to trade into from being a commander player? You might like Scapeshift. You might like Niv-to-Light because you get to play with a lot of different spells. Maybe Niv-to-Light is the best one for you. Because Niv-to-Light is like almost like a commander deck in that you get to play with so many different spells. Because you're like saying, I'm basing your question based on like, hey, you're a commander player. I'm a commander player. What would I like? You might have liked older versions of Amulet Titan. This is like a sort of deck that goes big or goes home. And Primeval Titan isn't banned in this format. It's legal, 100% legal. Those are my suggestions. Jojo, do you think there might be a Chalice of the Void deck hidden somewhere that isn't Tron? Maybe Death and Taxes, but I don't know if they really want Chalice of the Void. Thoughts on Everdream and Control? Two mana draw card. Splice onto instant or sorcery. This is garbage. Control doesn't have time for this anymore. Like if you're gonna... Yeah, I just don't think they have time for this. There are better cards to play for 2 mana. You might as well just play Think Twice. Really. If you want extra value, just play Think Twice. Which has seen play, but it doesn't really see play anymore because it's still pretty bad value. Spend 5 mana to draw an extra card. That's not modern playable these days. How do you feel about companions today? Are Lurrus and Yorion too good compared to the rest? If they ban Mishra's Bauble, I have a feeling Lurrus will be close to unplayable. So that's a pretty easy way to neutralize Lurrus. Maybe Lurrus won't be unplayable, but Lurrus would only see play in the decks that it should see play. Like, it probably will still see play in some Death Shadow decks and stuff. But a lot of people are just playing Lurrus for the bauble. Thoughts on Electro Balance in general and in the current metagame? I don't know what makes it good or bad in the current metagame right now, but like it doesn't really see much play at the moment. Maybe there's just too many decks that are going big or going home. Price of Progress for Modern, is that too strong? I think it's a very strong card. I think Modern can suck it up though. Halfway Joe, thoughts on Green Red Through the Breach got jumped by one in a league recently. Green Red Through the Breach? Oh, you mean like Titan Shift? Titan Shift with Breach as an alternate way of getting... Like, what did they breach into play? Because that was always a deck. You know, breach into Primeval Titan. Hayashi, play Learn Lesson in a Bosch, so the deck might come back. All right, we'll see what happens. Gonna get those lesson cards in there. Scoot, again, what puts Healy Company at the top in the metagame? What does it do better than other decks right now, or is it a case of being good against Blitz? It's like a multiple 2-card combo. It's like the premier combo deck of the format at the moment. If you want to talk about a combo deck, I mean, this is a combo deck. It's got, like, the best combo is a 2-card combo, and it's got multiple of them in this deck. You can Collected Company directly into the combo with Heliod, Sun Crowned, and Spike Feeder. And then alternatively, you can beat someone with infinite damage with Walking Ballista and Heliod. The deck has just, if you have any answer to the combo, they can play Skyclave Apparition and exile it. They can also Collected Company into that. They have a pretty decent beatdown game plan with Auriok Champion gaining life with Heliod, Stun Crown, making your creatures really big and just beat their face in. They're resistant. They're a 2-color deck, but they're pretty resistant to Blood Moon because of Utopia Sprawl and Arbor Elf. Like, they're a pretty good 2-color deck. So they're resistant to hate cards. They have a good plan. Their combo plan A is ridiculously consistent. Like, if my opponent just goes turn 2 Heliod, turn 3 Spike Feeder, and I just snap loss. So it's just hard to deal with. Because they're playing white, they've got answers to like anything and everything. Strong deck. Anyway, okay, that's it for the questions. You know what time it is now, people? Do you know what time it is? Time for, whoops, this is too loud. No, it's just loud enough. Boom! Decklist review. If you want to submit a deck list for Decklist review, well, you're in the right place. Go to my Discord. In my description, there is a link to my Discord. Join my Discord. And from there, go to the channel Decklist Review. In Decklist Review, enter the command, !review deck, space, give the URL to your deck list, and you will be eligible to get your deck list reviewed on Decklist Review. All right, it's Decklist Review time. That's right, Jose. Jose knows. It's Mario time. It's Mario time as well. So, as people submit their deck lists, we're going to thank our sponsors, because this is a sponsored channel. FusionGamingOnline.com. Deal of the week this week. We still got these Commander Legends products. Singles and sealed product. 15% off at FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget, if 15% off, you're like, 15% off is not enough. Well, get an additional 5% off using coupon code Nikachu at checkout. Oh, by the way, they sell other stuff. They sell all sorts of sealed product and singles. They do that there too. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. I mean, if you ask, they will. If you ask, you will receive. Anything you want to rent from Magic the Gathering Online, they got it in inventory. You can support the channel by using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 15% off your first 2 months using my coupon code Nikachu. Damn, this Mana Traders has saved my ass when it comes to like brewing up Merfolk builds, because otherwise, who knows what I would probably never try to go back to the White Splash. It's like buy 4 Auriok Champions and 4 Skyclave Apparitions. it would probably never work so well. Unless you were there yesterday. Whew. That was a rough league. Just want to give an announcement, actually, also I have all your attention. There will be no Coffee and MTG on just this Wednesday. This Wednesday, I'm going to be busy in the morning. So no Coffee and MTG. We'll resume Coffee and MTG on Thursday and so on. And there will still be Coffee and MTG on Wednesdays, just not this Wednesday. Just keep that in mind. Tell your friends. You're going to show up and like, where's Coffee and MTG? What's going on? I'll probably give an announcement on YouTube as well. Just to remind everybody. Do you play paper? Well, not right now. Inferior. New to Modern. What is your take on the blue Tron as a good starter deck? It's a really hard deck to play. So I wouldn't say it's the best starter deck. Like, you would probably be losing with it relentlessly. I mean, it's a deck. I'm not going to say it's a good deck. But it's only good because very strong players can pilot that thing. It's not a good beginner deck. So it's up to you how much you're willing to like play test the crap out of that, and also take a lot of advice from the internet. Welcome, Victor.
Get at home motivation anytime you want it.
Ugh.
Clip off that bike
Got
and
ads on this playlist. That's not good.
Learn more on onepeloton.ca.
There's one more ad. We're switching playlists. All right, let's get to the deck list. We got 31 people. Pretty stable at 31. 31, 32. Good luck, everyone. The amazing Wally. Congratulations. Oh, wait a minute. The worst idea in the history of pro wrestling. You debated me here. Okay, we're going to go to another person. And the video was blocked too. Cole K, congratulations. You are the next contestant on Decklist Review. Cole K. Let's go, Cole. All right, Cole. Here we go. We have Abzan Luris Blade, 2 Hex Drinker, a Scavenging Goose, 4 Stoneforge Mystic, 4 Tarmogoyf, 3 Luris in the main deck. Well, I guess you have to, because if you're playing Stoneforge Mystic. And Liliana the Veil. You're probably a little low, or sorry, you have too many 3 CMC permanents. 3 Fatal Push, 3 Inquisition, a Path to Exile, 3 Thoughtseize, Abrupt Decay, 2 Assassin's Trophy, Mishra's Bauble, Nihil Spellbomb, all the Skyclave, Sword of Fire and Ice, Batter Skull. You know what? I don't know if you need Hex Drinker in this deck. I don't know if you need Hex Drinker. Hex Drinker is good if you have Scourge of the Skyclaves and you need to deal some early damage in order to get their life total below 20. But this deck doesn't really need Hex Drinker if you don't want to play it. This deck could play... I mean, you can play it. It seems off, though. I don't know if these are the optimal creatures here. I think you should have 14 creatures. I don't know if it's this. 3 Liliana the Veil, that's okay. I would probably just have a 4th Fatal Push instead of Path to Exile. Path to Exile is just atrociously bad right now. And this it probably doesn't get any better in this particular list. I mean, if you're up, I would probably have, instead of Path to Exile, I'd just have the 4th Fatal Push or another Inquisition of Kozilek. I think having a decent chunk of hand disruption is fine. Hex Drinker is only played because Auriok blocks out of red-black. This deck doesn't need it. Hopefully it doesn't need it. We can go over the top. We can fly in the air with Maul of the Skyclaves, or you can attack with Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, so I mean, it's a card if you want it, but it's not necessary. Because turn 1, you're pretty often going to be playing Thoughtseize, Inquisition, or Fatal Push anyway, so I would consider playing another creature, but I don't know what it is. I was thinking maybe Giver of Runes? That's like possible, but you probably don't need it. But I don't. What are some good replacements? Nihil Spellbomb goes into the sideboard. God dang it. I don't mind it in the main deck. Like if you, it's effectively like a 5th Mishra's Bauble because you're playing with 3 Luris in your deck. So if you keep bringing Nihil Spellbomb from your graveyard over and over again, you can keep drawing a card every turn. If your opponent, like even if your opponent doesn't have a library to nuke, sorry, graveyard to nuke. Blooming Marsh, Forest, Godless Shrine. You have 1 Forest, 2 Swamp. All right. Engineer Explosive, Path to Exile, Veil of Summer, Auriok Champion. Gadok Teague, Ashiok, Kaya's Guile, 2 Plague Engineer, Sword of Feast and Famine, Sword of Light and Shadow. I'm not in love with these extra swords. Maybe Feast and Famine is fine. It's good against combo decks, give you extra mana. Light and Shadow, you could do better. You probably would just play Hold on, what do you want this for? Against White and Black? Like, I think the pro White and Black are the absolute worst out of all of them. Because if you're up against White and Black, then they probably have like a good amount of removal, especially Black. Like, you're just never going to equip this thing, or it's not going to matter. So I'd rather have like another Kai's Guile, an Auriok Champion, or maybe another Engineered Explosives or something. Alex Nope, thanks for some chill noise while I work. You're welcome. Well, Sword of Fire and Ice is in the main deck. Oh yeah, we can play Vanishing Verse. Let's play Vanishing Verse instead of maybe Sword of Light and Shadow. Maybe even Vanishing Verse instead of Abrupt Decay. I don't know what we need Abrupt Decay for. You can put some Vanishing Verse somewhere in here. Hammer? No, this is a bit extreme. You need more work to get that hammer in play. So you can have a creature here, like, if you don't want to change anything here, I think that's fine, but, like, these are just... It seems like there's room for improvement here. Seems like there's room for improvement. I don't know what card to put here, though. The first thing that comes to mind is, like, Death Shadow, but this is not a Death Shadow deck at all. What is a good creature? I was thinking Giver of Runes. It's not a bad Giver of Runes deck, but it's still this is still a deck where you want to play turn 1 Inquisition or Thoughtseize. Like, it's okay. Giver of Runes is okay. It's not bad. It's not a bad idea. I don't know if that's ideal either, though. What about War and Peace? I really don't care about, like, all the other... Outside of, like, Sword of Fire and Ice and Sword of Feast and Famine, I think all the other swords are garbage. And they barely see play. Oh, Siege Rhino. That's interesting, but that's a bit clunky. It's a bit too clunky. I don't know what else. We can't play Season Pyromancer or anything like that here. Is there not like a green-white card we can play? I don't know. Maybe we just stick with Hex Drinker, or maybe we make 3. I don't know about Scavenging Ooze. Auriok Champion is hard, a little hard on the mana base. Like, I know there's one here. I think it's fine as a 1-of, but oh, Noble Hierarch? That's not a bad idea, actually. That's not a bad idea. Voice Resurgence is okay. I was thinking about that. Maybe Noble Hierarch. Noble Hierarch into, like, Stoneforge Mystic into Thoughtseize. It makes it a little bit less... It makes it more Stonebladey and a little less... That's an interesting idea. And you can sometimes get turn 2 Liliana the Veils out of that. That's not bad. Turn 2 Liliana the Veil is very strong. Turn 3 Liliana the Veil, not that great. Tireless Tracker is actually a good idea. Renegade Rallier is not bad either. Nah, Birds of Paradise, so you can equip to the flyer. Yeah, but it, I still value way too much the... I still value the Exalted from Noble Hierarch. Although it's not, it's really off color. No, it's not. It's Selesnya. You just lose the black. Anyway, that's something to try out. If you want to go the more mid-range route, I guess you could do this. It's just, it really stands out like a sore thumb, these creatures. Scavenging Ooze, I guess, is okay, but Hex Drinker is a bit odd. Other than that, I think the list is pretty clean. Pretty clean list. Let me just fix up the sideboard here, because I think Sword of Light and Shadow is a bit overrated. I don't mind sort of feast and famine, especially if you're up against another deck. Like if you're up against the mirror, you can attack through more creep. Firework turn 2, put another black mana source, and boom. Oh, that's a good one. I missed that one. Of course. Maybe that's better than these 3. Skyclave Apparition would be gas. Come on, people. How is everyone suggesting everything except Skyclave Apparition? Mana base might be difficult. I don't know how heavy we are on white mana sources, but I bet we could make it work because it looks like this deck is on a very light splash. Anyway, maybe a few Skyclave Apparitions are worth considering. Anyway, thanks for the list. Hope some of that feedback was useful. Try some stuff out. You know, you have these 3 slots you could do anything with. Okay, we got the Amazing Wally again. How did the Amazing Wally submit 2 things? Oh, he submitted again after the troll one. This is the first time I've been able to select someone twice. Oh, but I'm only going to do it because the first one was a troll. Vampires for Modern. Beautiful. Yeah, Lurrus wasn't a companion in that last one. Okay, Blood Artist. Only good if you have sack outlets. If you can't sack anything, this thing's useless. Bloodghast, Cordial Vampire. Best card in Vampires, hands down. This thing is a fucking busted card. So busted. I have no idea. This is going to get broken one day. Very underrated card. Cruel Celebrant. Whenever Cruel Celebrant or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. You gain 1 life. Not too bad. Especially because if Cruel Celebrant dies, you get the value. Gatekeeper of Malakir. I have found this card to be pretty clunky. By the time that you get 3 mana out, your opponent has nothing really. Your opponent can sacrifice like with the worst creature on the battlefield. Indulgent Aristocrat, lifelink, sacrifice a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on each vampire you control. I never tried this one, but this one's probably a lot better than I think it is. Indulgent Patrician. Flying lifelink at the beginning of your end step. If the opponent gains 3 or more life this turn, each opponent loses 3 life. Oh, that is interesting. If you gain... Oh, no, sorry. If you gain 3 or more life this turn, each opponent loses 3 life. Okay, that's less interesting. But it has lifelink. Calastria Highborn. Vampire Nighthawk. Caves of Koilos. You have very few lands. You have 20 lands for a deck that curves out to 3 and also requires a lot of... Like, this says 2 mana, but it's really a 3 mana card, right? So you actually need... And same thing with Calastria Highborn. Very mana hungry. I liked the idea of Calastria Highborn, but when I played with it, it was so... You needed so much mana with this card. So much mana. So you need more... Oh, you do have Aether Vial, though. For some reason, I thought this was going to be not an Aether Vial deck. So you have 20 lands. I actually think you should have 1 more land. Okay, I'm just going to say take out Gatekeeper. It just sucks. Add a land. Get to... Yeah, maybe Silver... Well, Silver Smoke Ghoul is okay. It's better with the Planeswalker. Is this standard? No, this is modern. So what, Vampire Nighthawk? Yeah, maybe Nighthawk Scavenger is just better. It's like the super Vampire Nighthawk. Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink, power is equal to 1 plus the number of card types among cards in your opponent's graveyard. So your opponent pumps it up. At least it's a, you know, like they got 1 card type in the graveyard and boom, you're online. You're at least as good as Vampire Nighthawk, if not better. And this card is relatively cheap. Look, 86 cents. No reason. Vampire Nighthawk might be worth more money. That's got to be impossible. Yeah, it's impossible. But it's not far off. Like, this is like a strictly worse card. flying Death Touch lifelink and can get like ridiculously big? What is going on here? Seer for Sack Outlet and Knight of Ebon Legion is our best one drop. Maybe. I'm not in love with Blood Artist in this deck. I don't know if there's like a really good way to sack the creatures. Like, this is clunky. This is really clunky. It is so hard to have this 2 mana up. It looks good, but you almost never have this mana. I think well, I don't know if Vampire Nocturnus is even playable. It looks good, but it's very expensive. Okay, how about this? If you're gonna play with Blood Artist, definitely play with the Seer. The Seer. Am I pronouncing that right? Viscera Seer, or is it Viscera Seer? I don't know if I've heard anyone pronounce this correctly. So at the very least, there comes a point where you have your Blood Artist, you have your Cordial Vampire, and Viscera Seer work very well together. Because you can at will sack something. You get the scry, and you get the value. Yahini is also a sack outlet. But at 3 mana, whenever a creature sacrifice another creature, gains indestructible until end of turn. Whenever another creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Undying Partisan. I don't know if I'm in love with this for... it's indestructible. I don't want to downplay that. Viscera? Silent Sea? Okay, thank you very much. I don't know how I feel about this. This requires, like, real playtesting. And it's legendary. I don't mind the indestructible part, but I don't know how useful it is for 3 mana. So, yeah, get rid of Gatekeeper, add 1 land, maybe 3 Viscera Seers. Viscera Seer, I should say. Viscera. Viscera. Maybe 1, and then replace Vampire Nighthawk with the Nighthawk Scavenger, which is just obviously a supreme upgrade to the Vampire Nighthawk. Okay, how about your mana base? Caves of Koilos cannot be right. Grim Climb Pathway? This actually cannot be right either. You have too many double black spells. Well, I guess it's okay. Yeah, I mean, you could play this like a swamp most of the time, and then some of the time you play it like, okay, you don't have any fetch lands. You probably should have at least 1 Godless Shrine, some Marsh Flats to get a swamp, and maybe a single Plains to play around Blood Moon. Otherwise, this is a very painful mana base. Caves of Koilos is very painful. Silent Clearing is very painful. I don't mind the Pathway. Pathway is like, okay. Hold on, isn't there better land? Okay, what are the better lands, people? What's the Courtyard one? The Courtyard's way better. Maybe you're on a budget. Maybe this is money for you, but like, this is not too bad. Look at this Kaladesh, $3.6. This is way better. This is a good one. Yeah, the fast lands, Concealed Courtyard. What else do we got, people? So that's better than Caves of Koilos, and maybe a few Grim Climb Pathways. You can afford Agadim's Awakening, so you can get some concealed Courtyards. Maybe that's all you need to do. Fix that mana base up by quite a bit. Sideboard Dismember. I don't... Maybe you want to have... Like, Dismember is okay, but you're taking a lot of damage for a deck that's playing black anyway. I might play with, not Fatal Push, but Blood Chief's Thirst. I think this is very reasonable. You can kill off a lot of small creatures for 1 mana. At 4 mana, you destroy basically anything. Fatal Push doesn't work so well if you don't have fetch. Oh, maybe the fetch lands don't matter because we do have Viscera here, so we can sacrifice one of our own things. Maybe, but Fatal Push is a bit awkward in that way. Extirpate is fine. Fatal. Oh, you do have Fatal Push. Fracture, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. Probably better is Vanishing Verse. I might be wrong. Otherwise, I don't know how you're beating Heliod Company. Thoughtseize. I don't know about the sideboard. Sideboard's a bit awkward to me. Yeah, I think I like Vanishing. I think Vanishing Verse gives you a better chance. Isolated Chapel only works if you have enough lands to get into play untapped. Like you need the swamps and the plains to make it work. Okay, tribal deck with a sub-theme of life drain and gain through the combo of Bloodghast, Blood Artist, and Cordial, along with Celebrant, Clastra Highborn, and the Patrician to gain 1 life on my Vampire Tribe, and also regularly hitting my opponents for life. I feel the sideboard might need a little help, or that this deck isn't aggressive enough in its approach to be successful. Well, it needs a little bit more mana if you want to, like, that's why I said, you know, we'll take out, you do need to add some mana. I know we have 20 lands. We should probably go to 21, 22, so you can get really good use out of, not Gatekeeper. I think you should just remove it. It's just too difficult down. This is turned down by quite a bit. Here, we'll move on to another one. Everyone suggests the same cards over and over again. Village Rites! Village Rites! Get Village Rites in that deck! We have more than one person that says this is too loud. It's really hard to turn it down lower. Like, it's pretty low. It's pretty low, people. Okay, what are we afraid of? Okay, first off, I want some Vanishing Verses for Heliod. And it's just good. Want some Vanishing Verses for Heliod. I'd put that in the sideboard. Now the music is basically off. That's what I'm saying. There's like no way for me to adjust it. Okay, this is just how it is. You gotta like this music or not. If you don't, it's probably too loud if you don't like the music. Thoughtseize can hit anything. I think playing this deck this way won't actually work. Maybe just go for Mardu. I think it's fine. I think playing the deck is okay. I'd prefer that you have more creep. I can't think of them right now, but I think the there's too many spells in the sideboard, and I would much rather have. There's too many spells in the sideboard. That's just how I'll put it. And I prefer that there were some more vampire answers in the sideboard. It's possible I need to be turned up, but unfortunately, my boom arm is broken. It died like a few days before retirement. I have a new one coming on the way. The music was perfect. What about the Lord Legion Lieutenant? For the main deck, it's not for the way they want to play the deck. They're not playing it like a Lord base deck. They're trying to play it like an Aristocrats deck, which is fine. Okay, you should have better graveyard hate than this. I would suggest what's it called? If we are gonna have graveyard hate. Hold on, what do the cards say specifically? Is it whenever a creature dies? Or another creature or planeswalker you control dies. Maybe you can play with what's it called? Remorseful Cleric. Remorseful Cleric says sacrifice Remorseful Cleric, exile all cards from target player's graveyard. So that has synergy with Ether Vial, and it also does have synergy with Cruel Celebrant. You can just sack the thing. Does it have synergy with anything else? Because it's not a vampire. Otherwise, I would suggest Nihil Spellbomb. Whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, players. So it has synergy with this too. So actually, I would play Remorseful Cleric. Some number of Remorseful. Probably remove the extirpates for Remorseful Cleric. Yeah, maybe Gifted Aetherborn. Yeah, maybe that's fine. I don't think Vampire Hex Mage in the sideboard is a must. I don't think it's necessary to beat like Planeswalkers like this. I think it's okay to still have Thoughtseize, like maybe pump this up to 4. Maybe remove Fatal Push for Bloodchief's Thirst. You don't, okay, no, I still know. Yeah, Fatal Push might be okay because you do have sack outlets, but it would just really suck to sack something for the sake of getting Fatal Push online. You know what I mean? I think Sorin is a great card, but it's not. This deck isn't being built for it. Pitiless Pontiff? Sacrifice another creature. Pitiless Pontiff gets indestructible, Death Touch and indestructible until end of turn. It's still mana intensive. I don't like these mana intensive cards. Anyway, I think that's all the feedback I can give. Sideboard definitely needs some more work. I think we gave some good suggestions. Vanishing Verse, Remorseful Cleric, maybe Bloodchief's Thirst instead of Fatal Push. I might also actually go to 4 Thoughtseizes if I had to. Because if you're gonna bring in some hand disruption for a combo deck, you might as well have max hand disruption. 3 is just not a lot. If you're gonna go the hand disruption route, you gotta go all in. Go all in on hand disruption. All right, that's going to be Coffee and MTG for today. If you want to watch the replay, Nikachu MTG Streams is your place to go for all your replay needs. If I didn't get your comments, questions, or deck list, we do this Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. I will not be there this Wednesday, though. This Wednesday, I will be off, but we will continue every other Wednesday. If you want to support Coffee and MTG, and if you are not already, you can leave a sub at twitch.tv/NikachuMTG. You could support me on Patreon, or you can join on YouTube. These are all valid ways of doing it. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. I appreciate everyone for showing up today. You're welcome. You're welcome, Walter. Thank you very much for showing up, making me a part of your daily routine, because without all of you, what coffee show would this be without having what conversation would this be if it wasn't with all of you? So keep brewing up that coffee and we'll keep brewing up magic. I'll see you all next time.